Hi folks, John Adams here with an August update on the new EPA lead-based paint rules for renovators. That includes painters, carpenters, contractors, HVAC installers and repair folks, plumbers and electricians. Anybody who is planning on disturbing any painted surface on a pre-1978 house needs to know about these rules. Some people call it the 6 square foot rule. Some people call it the EPA lead-based paint rule. Some people call it the certified renovator rule. But it all refers to Title 10 of the Toxic Substances Control Act, which was passed back in 1992 and signed into law by George Herbert Walker Bush. It has just been implemented, at least the residential portion was implemented on April 22nd of this year. And I'm not sure the EPA has done the world's best job of getting information out about it. A lot of contractors simply don't know about it, or if they have heard about it, they don't want to know about it and are choosing not to get the training or finding it convenient to not get the training. Here in Georgia, we offer EPA certified renovator training every Friday. And to find out more about that, and we have spaces in our classes. So if you want to come, please go to my website at renovate99.com, or you can call me directly at 1-888-373-0029. My name is John Adams. I'm an EPA lead-based paint inspector, and I am the principal guest instructor for our lead-based training. So if you have any questions, call me there to see if this applies to you. It also applies to property managers, to real estate professionals, even to owners of rental property that either own or have to deal with pre-1978 homes. And that represents about half the houses in America. I've got about 7 minutes left, so I'm going to try to give you a nutshell overview of the law and what your responsibilities are. So the first question to ask is, what are we talking about? Well, it's the lead-based paint renovation, repair, and painting rule. They call it RRP. And it is a one-day class. It's a federal regulatory program, and it's affecting anybody who disturbs painted surfaces on pre-1978 housing. Basically, if you're going to do that, you need to take a one-day class. It's $295, and at the end of the day, you'll end up with an EPA license that looks a lot like this. This is a copy of this is my license. And this is an EPA license that allows you to, or it proves that you're certified to conduct these renovation, repair, or painting activities safely on pre-1978 homes. Once you've taken the class, the license is good for 5 years. You'll need to be associated with a certified firm, but we'll talk about that later in another time. And the key is you've got to get certified first. You cannot conduct these activities unless you are certified. And if you're going to be doing them, if you're a contractor or a plumber, HVAC, carpenter, painter, any of these things, even if you're a real estate professional that might list or sell homes built before 1978, brokers, I'm recommending that your entire office get certified and add to your professional designations EPA certified renovator. We'll talk specifically about realtors in another video, but let's move on with our nutshell overview. What is required? By the way, I want to make two things clear before we go on. First, there was a rumor that owner-occupants were exempt from this rule if they just chose not to participate. That is called the opt-out provision, and it was removed by EPA one day after the rule became effective on April 22nd. So owner-occupants can no longer opt out of this rule. The other rumor that's floating around is that EPA postponed enforcement of this rule until April 30th to give everybody more time. Well, they did postpone fines and enforcement actions based on your failure to get certified but they did not postpone enforcement actions based on your failure to follow lead-safe practices and all the required documentation and activities. So even if you're not certified, you're still required to do this. You're required to implement all of this and document it and have the paperwork, even though they won't fine you for not having a license. They will fine you for undertaking these activities, and enforcement is ongoing and active right now, and I'm not kidding. If you want more details, you call me at 1-888-373-0029. Why are we doing this? Because we've got a serious problem with lead-based paint in this country. The problem is that your and my renovation activities, when we knock down a wall or we decide to put an air conditioner in or change a window out or something like that, it creates a lot of dust. And that dust contains lead. And a very small amount of lead can cause a very serious problem. Last year in the United States, over 310,000 kids were diagnosed, age 6 and under age 6 actually, with elevated levels of lead in their blood. The two most at-risk groups are children under 6 and pregnant women. Among pregnant women, it can cause low birth weight, it can cause birth defects, it can cause brain damage, and can cause learning disabilities. It can even cause miscarriage. Among children under 6, it can cause hyperactivity disorder, it can cause hearing impairments, again it can cause retardation, and it can cause serious learning problems, and these can go on for a lifetime. And there's just no reason for this. The EPA has identified 3 things that we can do to help solve the problem. And here's what they are. Number 1, they want us to contain the area that we're doing our work. Keep it in as small an area as possible. And that's pretty easy to do. We put plastic down, and if we need to, we use vertical containment to keep the dust from traveling. The second thing we do is we minimize the amount of dust that we create. And we do that by avoiding what are called prohibited practices. There are certain things that we do that create very large amounts of dust. So for example, an electric grinder, which we would use to grind paint, say off the side of an old house, creates a tremendous amount of dust. That is now prohibited unless a HEPA filter vacuum is attached. And that HEPA filter vacuum will capture the dust and render it harmless so that it can be disposed of. And the third thing they're asking us to do is, if we create a mess, they want us to clean it up, and clean it up very well. They're not asking us to leave behind a situation where there's no lead. There was lead there when we got there. I mean, we know that because we tested. But we don't want to leave any lead dust that we created or that we caused. And that's the key. It's not that bad. It's a one-day class. I promise if you stay awake and pay attention, you'll pass the course. And I'd encourage you to call me at 1-888-373-0029. We have courses in the Atlanta area every Friday from 8:30 a.m. until 5 o'clock p.m. And at the end of the day, you'll be an EPA certified renovator, licensed for 5 years. It's $295. We even have financing available if you need help spreading out the payments. We'll work with you. So why is this important? It's because kids are having their lives impacted by this lead, and it's not right. It's something that you and I can do. It's not very expensive per job. I know it sounds bad, but it's not going to add a lot to your costs depending on the size of the job. And a lot of these things are common sense cleaning type things that you're already doing. But remember this, homes that were built before 1978 account for 50% of the homes in America. And if you're going to have any interaction with those homes, and if there's going to be any repair, painting, or renovation of those homes, then you definitely need to find out about this. Go to my website, renovate99.com.